Hello everyone, I'm Sharpedo43, once again bringing you all week 2 of the PAC League. Now in this match we're going to be playing against Playmaker, who is going to represent the Atlanta Victory Stars team. And once again I do have to provide a prologue, kind of like I did with week 1. Reason being is that we ran into some inconveniences again with the LAN mode, particularly that my opponent was supposed to host and his invite to the server wasn't like going through or something like that, and we had to kind of do that numerous times. And in the process I was trying to do the introduction, and that was kind of messing up a lot because of the fact that the LAN mode wasn't going through or some shit. And as a result, we basically it got to the point where I just got kind of tired of dealing with the shit, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna record the match until we finish the match, obviously. And we're gonna start the video like this basically. So yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully for the next match it's we don't have to do this again. It's good. Well, this isn't a bad way to approach the video, obviously. I just prefer the live recording, honestly, just because it becomes less tedious on the editing for me, at least, because, you know, it's kind of like tedious for me to do the videos like this, because I have to basically say all kinds of stuff, and then I have to post-commentate the recording, which is for me kind of difficult, considering I have a hard time, you know, remembering what goes on in a match after it's done and whatnot. I used to not have that problem when I was doing the Sun and Moon matches, but for this one, for some reason, it's a lot more difficult to make any recollections of anything that goes on in the matches. But anyways, with all that said, yeah, once again, Playmaker, Atlanta Victory Stars. This is the guy's draft here, as always, next to mine. But his is on the right side, as always. And as you can see, his team is... It's kind of scary because he has a lot of good stuff, I feel. Anyway. Because he has a Copper, which can do a lot of stuff to my draft. He has a Crobat, which, yeah, depending on the set, it can do a lot of work against my team. He has a Farfetch, I think that is, a Galarian Farfetch'd, and he has a Garchomp as well, a Haunter, a Primarina, a Raikou, and a Turtonator, oh, an Umbreon, and Victini, and Wartortle. Like, I feel like this draft is pretty dang good. He can bring literally anything. But what I'm particularly worried about is the Raikou, the Umbreon, the Garchomp, I think the Copper too, honestly, and the Primarina, just because obviously those things hit really hard, and since this game kind of requires you to play a more offensive approach, like, I'm afraid he'll just kind of like run a lot of his team like hyper offensive. He'll run like Bandit and just put numbers on my team, because a lot of my team is kind of frail or has weaknesses. Like, Lantern is bulky, but Garchomp kind of EQs that, and I think he can do a lot of damage with EQ just alone against my other mons like a Azumarill or Dragapult. Dragapult can outspeed, but I mean, if it's Scarf, that's a different story. Especially if Dragapult's already weakened prior. Heracross also gets outsped. It resists Earthquake, but I don't think it'll appreciate a Dragon Claw, especially if it's of the Swords Dance variety. Or if it has Outrage, I think it can KO me after maybe like some hazards, which could be set up by Copper or something. But yeah, that's basically the draft. That's what I anticipate him like to bring, basically the ones that I was afraid of and whatnot. But with all that said, we're gonna now get into the match, so that way we can find out what's gonna go down and whatnot. And yeah, stay tuned, and yeah, just stay tuned, obviously. Alright, here we are. So as you can see, we're gonna be basically giving this match like the CBDL treatment. It's basically gonna be where I record, where I post-commentate this, sure, but I'm gonna be basically, be recalling all the events that go on in the match, but it's not gonna be like a full-fledged recollection. It's just gonna be like, I'm gonna see what goes on, and I'm just basically gonna say what goes on and explain some of the I guess thinking that I had to go through or some shit like that. I don't know how to explain it, honestly. I'm still terrible at that. But yeah, so obviously I guess the difference in this is also just the fact that the video is gonna look probably much nicer, since I actually recorded raw from my Elgato this time, as opposed to using OBS, which kind of pixelates it for some reason. But yeah, the team, well, you just saw it obviously, but it is what it is. And this is gonna be Playmaker, obviously. This music still sucks, by the way, because yeah, it's pretty stagnant as opposed to the ones that I could be playing if this mode actually allowed me to. But whatever. Next time I'm gonna actually mute the music for this shit, just so I can actually play my own music, honestly, because this is just lame. Look at the nice background. Imagine if I could play the battle tower theme. That would have been sick, but unfortunately land mode is that way. It's stupid, but whatever. Okay, so obviously he led with Primarina, I led with Skarmory, obviously. That's actually good. I'm gonna switch out here into Roserade, hoping he doesn't go for Psychic or Ice Beam. Thankfully he just goes for the Scald turn 1, which is good. I guess it's a safe play to not over predict or anything like that. I'm gonna have Black Sludge on this Roserade because, I don't know, it's good for recovery or something. This Roserade obviously does have a weakness in the sense that it doesn't have extra sensory for Crobat, so because of that I'm just gonna go for the Leech Seed. So that if he chooses to go for Crobat, I can just get some HP back with the Leech Seed. And then I switch out. Even if he has U-turn, I have to switch out obviously because I don't want to risk taking a Brave Bird. Crobats can be audacious enough to go just straight for the Brave Bird. So obviously I want to spare myself that trouble. So I go for the Leech Seed right here, get Leftovers. And these animations are going to be kind of a big deal actually, as you're going to find out. Well, I guess I can explain it now since we have a lot of time. Basically, because this land was only 10 minutes, these animations actually don't count as the timer. So basically, that's going to probably make this match feel like as if it were 20 or 30 minutes or something, which is kind of crazy. But yeah. So anyways, I'm going to switch out. I'm going to go into Skarmory obviously because that's the one thing that can take the moves that Crobat usually have. Unless this was a special attacking set with Heat Wave, that would have been scary. But it was a risk I felt like I had to make anyway, so that's why I said in Skarmory. I was aware of the potential of Crobat having a special set with Nasty Plot, but again, I just wanted to get all doubts out of the way, and that's why I sent in Skarmory. However, he did have U-turn, so he does get the free pivot into Raikou, which now is going to force me to switch out, which I will obviously, because I'm not going to stay. Actually, that's a lie. I actually stay in and just go for Whirlwind. I was actually anticipating either a Substitute or a Calm Mind, but he actually ends up going for Toxic, so that kind of makes me feel even better that I just go for the Whirlwind, but it was risky nonetheless. He could have just Volt Switched or Thunderbolt, honestly, and given himself more momentum. But he didn't do that, so obviously that's a rip for him, obviously. Here he's gonna go for the Roost. I think I just go for the Rocks now, if I didn't go for them earlier. Yeah, I'm gonna go for them right here, obviously. Now here I think I go for Whirlwind again, and he's actually gonna reveal to me the Defog, so yeah, that's gonna be pretty bad for me. Well, it's actually not bad, like I don't take any damage, but it is gonna be a little bit inconvenient because there's mons that could take rocks damage, like the Victini, obviously. But he goes for Defog, and there's really not much I can do to the Crobat. Since it has Roost, even if I Brave Bird it, it's not going to be a 2-hit KO. If it was a 2-hit KO, then there might have been a chance I could like pressure Crobat to switch out or do something else. But because Skarmory's not that powerful, there's very little he can do, honestly. He's going to switch out the Primarina here, and... Oh no, I phased it in the Primarina. I'm stupid. He didn't switch in. I phased it the Primarina, and then I think he just went for like another... Oh, I think he switched it out and I went for the Whirlwind. I forgot how this went actually. I'm dumb or something. But here I'm gonna switch into Dragapult because I was anticipating the Defog again, so I was just like, yeah, let's do that. And as you can see, he is gonna go for the Defog. Here I actually, this is where I actually try to go for the straight up Drago Meteor, yeah. Because it's specs and whatnot. I actually have this Dragapult spec, so that's why I'm expecting this Draco Meteor to like actually KO it. I was actually expecting this to straight up KO it. I was debating of whether or not I should go for Shadow Ball though, because he could just switch in Primarina expecting the Draco Meteor. But I think ultimately I just go for the Draco Meteor, just because it'll do damage to anything that isn't Primarina, obviously. And it'll do a lot of it, too. And plus, it would be good to just take out this Crobat so I could stop defogging my rocks away. And they're here to stay and whatnot. However, surprisingly enough, this Crobat seems to have some sort of investment in HP or defense or SPDF. But it took the Specs Draco Meteor like nothing. Is Dragapult that broken, question mark? Like, is he actually broken? Because if a Draco Meteor can't take out a Crobat, I don't know what makes this thing so broken, honestly. But I don't know. So anyways, because of this, I think I stay in again just to go for another Draco Meteor. Because he went for Roost. I just wanted to see if he'd go for another one. He actually does end up switching out. Although not into Primarina, but into Umbreon. So I thought he was going to go to Primarina. But I guess he didn't want to risk the Dragapult not being specs, and I could go for like a Shadow Ball to lower Spadef or something. I don't know. That's what comes to mind anyway. But yeah. So I get some good damage on this Umbreon despite the -2. But now I definitely have to switch out because I don't really got anything else for this Umbreon, especially now that I'm at -4. So here I believe I go into Flareon. No, not Flareon. It's a Azumarill now. I think it was Azumarill. I don't remember honestly. No, it's not Crocodile. It has to be Roserade actually. Yeah. Yeah, it was Roserade because I wanted a Leech Seed and maybe set up Spikes. I think that was what I was thinking at the time. Maybe I could set up Spikes. So, okay, so it was Roserade. Like I said before, I'm not, like, I don't remember entirely what happened in this match since this happened days ago, but I'm just trying to make recollections of what went on. As I sent in Roserade, he's going to go for the Baton Pass, which I kind of, for some bizarre reason, forgot that Umbreon can get for momentum's sake. This gives him a free switch into either that Crobat again, or he can send out Victini if he chooses to do so. Not good for me, obviously. He does actually go for the Victini, which is pretty bad because this does force me to switch out. But I am going to go straight into Flareon and play it safe. He could predict me and hit me with something like Psychic or Zen Headbutt, depending on the set, obviously. But, I don't know. I just wanted to make sure that I can actually, like, I didn't want to lose Roserade, basically. And this Flareon kind of doesn't really do much, honestly. Like, he can just Toxic at most. But thankfully for me, it just goes for the V-Create, and that actually procs my Flash Fire. In other words, I'm basically immune to it, so I take no damage. I decided to go for Toxic right here. He's actually going to go for the Bolt Strike right here, which I was kind of hoping he wouldn't have. I thought he would just go for Zen Headbutt or something, but he had, I mean, Zen Headbutt would probably have done more if this did this much damage, honestly, if the Bolt Strike did this much damage. But as you can see, he actually got the Paralysis on this, and unfortunately, he gets the full Paralysis, therefore I couldn't get to Toxic this thing. Now here I was thinking on what I should do now that I couldn't get the Toxic off on this Victini, because this Victini can kind of now do whatever the heck it wants. Because then I'm forced to switch out, I definitely am. But into what? I decided to go into Crocodile, obviously. I decided, you know what, if this thing is choice, maybe we can, well, it's not choice actually. I was just kind of hoping he'd go for another one. He could have just switched it up and gone for V-Create, but then I would have, well, I don't know. I might not have taken it, I don't know. It's because I don't know what set this Victini is. I want to believe that this Crocodile might have been able to take it, but it didn't have Intimidate, so it might not have taken it. Or I would have been severely weakened. Either way, he does go for the Bolt Strike again, so therefore we do have to actually knock off here. Although him predicting the knockoff is actually going to end up sending out the Umbreon, so that's kind of good for him. Although good for me as well, because I actually get to knock off the leftovers, so this thing doesn't get any passive recovery. Because that is annoying on Umbreon. Now here, obviously I don't want to lose this Crocodile that easily, so I think I send out either Azumarill or Roserade again, one of the two. Or the Skarmory, because Skarmory can also just come in and just set up rocks. But I don't remember what I did here. I did something though. But obviously I'm just gonna go for the Roserade here. I think the attempt was to try to get Leech Seed again. I don't remember. This thing is gonna go for Moonlight, basically recover whatever it lost. I'm not sure why I sent Roserade here, honestly. But maybe it was for Spikes, I don't know. Yeah, or yeah, it has to be. It's either that or Leech Seed again. But Leech Seeding, well, Leech Seeding Victini would be nice too, honestly. He does stay in though. Oh, and I guess I forgot here that this thing could just Baton Pass again, which he does. But it's not like it matters because, and this was funny because I kind of didn't even know this could happen, but he's going to Baton Pass and he's going to go into Crobat right here, and he's actually going to Baton Pass the Leech Seed as well because, I don't know, I guess that's how it works. But as you can see, he Baton Passes the Leech Seed onto this Crobat, which is kind of cool actually. So I still get some nice chip on this. And it took me a while to realize that this Crobat was actually packing the heavy duty boots because he's not taking any, or he never took any damage from the rocks. But yeah, it is what it is, obviously. And okay, but here I'm gonna switch out obviously because I don't want to risk the Brave Bird. He's gonna go for the U-turn, obviously. So here, he's gonna probably go into Primarina, either that or the Raikou, one of the two. Well, actually, I think he goes into Victini. Yeah, I think he goes into Victini. Yeah, he's gonna go into Victini. Okay, here is where I decided to just stay in with the Skarmory and just go for the rocks, obviously. Because, obviously, I don't want this Victini to just be switching around constantly. I want this thing to be taking some damage from the rocks I'm about to set up. So here he's gonna go for the V-Create. I have full HP. Thankfully, I pack leftovers on this Skarmory, because had this been Rocky Helmet, it would have been ineffective because Crobat has Roost, so yeah, it would just have done nothing. But this allowed me to stay at full HP, and I get to set up my rocks at the very least. Now here, after this V-Create, I think I just stay in with this oh no, I actually preserved this Skarmory in case I can Roost against the Primarina, although it's very unlikely given that most Primarinas have speed investment. But I think it was also the Umbreon too, if I can get like a safe switch in the Skarmory. Assuming Umbreon even takes anything out of my team, I don't know. But here, I think I switch into the Umbreon here. Or not Umbreon, the Flareon. And to see if he goes for another V-Create. I think he does go for it. Oh no, he actually goes for the Trick Room actually. Now this scene was actually a bit interesting actually, because here I was thinking, okay, he set up Trick Room. I'm paralyzed. Yeah, he's at -1 speed, but I should be naturally slower than this Victini, no? So I believe here I try to go for Toxic. And I think I do outspeed it and I do land the Toxic. I think. Yeah, okay. So I land that Toxic, which is good. And here, unfortunately, he is going to be able to take out my Flareon with another Bolt Strike, which is unfortunate. I don't know how this thing does too much damage. I have to wonder if this thing has like a Muscle Band or something, because this does way too much damage. For a 100 base attack non-stab Bolt Strike, doing that much to Flareon. Well, to be fair, Flareon doesn't have the best defense either, honestly. And the HP, I think, is also something left to be desired. I don't know. But yeah, either way, he takes it out, the Flareon. And here, I actually make a risky play, but at the same time, I thought it was actually it's not even a risky play. I thought it was actually the safest thing I could ever do. But I sent out Azumarill to go for the Liquidation, since Trick Room is up. He's at -1 speed, but 100 base speed. Even like with the minus speed nature, I felt like I should be able to outspeed this no matter what, honestly, no? So I just go for the Liquidation, thinking, yeah, I should be fine, no? However, crazily enough, this thing actually does outspeed me in Trick Room, and I was like, what the hell? He goes for the Bull Strike, and thankfully for me, it misses, which is actually severely unfortunate for him, but it was definitely good for me, because I get to take out this Victini, which was kind of starting to become a problem. Like, how the hell was it able to outspeed my Azumarill in Trick Room, honestly? I know he was at minus speed. Oh, but he was at -1 too, no? I don't know, I still feel like he shouldn't have been able to outspeed me in Trick Room, honestly. Like, even with no investment on anything in the speed, and that -1 on top of that, I still don't feel like he should have outsped. But it did anyways. Thankfully, I got lucky here, though, and he missed the Bolt Strike. It's kind of crazy, though, because the Bolt Strike, I don't remember what the accuracy was on it. I think it was like 75 or something, or 80, or I don't remember. But, with its ability Victory Star, I think it is, it actually raises the accuracy. I don't know by how much, again, I forget, but it does raise it to an amount where it should be less likely to miss, but it missed, so I was just like, we take those, obviously. But anyways, I think here he sends in the Primarina. I think I went into Roserade somehow. And, yeah, I think he went for the Moonblast, actually. Oh yeah, he went into Primarina on the Azumarill. And I switched into Roserade, hoping he'd go for Moonblast, and I think that was exactly what he did. And I think here, I went for Leech Seed, I think I went. Either Leech Seed or Sludge Bomb, one of the two. Actually, I think I went for Sludge Bomb here. He does go into Crobat, I believe. Yeah, he's going to go into Crobat. Yeah, and I go for Sludge Bomb, yeah, definitely. Because I was kind of hoping he would stay in, like, thinking, you know what, maybe he'll predict me to go for Leech Seed again. I don't think he wants to chip down his Crobat. Although this Sludge Bomb actually did a lot more than Leech Seed ever could. Now here, I was actually debating on whether or not I should just send in the Crocodile, but I didn't want to risk this thing U-turning me and getting more damage on my Crocodile. I felt like the Crocodile was gonna be the late game cleaner. Jeez, I was gonna say that late game cleaner. I don't know, some shit like that. But yeah, I instead decided to go into Dragapult, and thankfully I took no damage on this because he went for the Roost. Here, I think I go for Shadow Ball. I wanted to go for Thunderbolt right here, actually, but I was afraid of him sending in I think it was the Raikou itself, which is kind of weird. I probably should definitely have gone for the Thunderbolt there, because this Primarina would not have appreciated it. But I went for Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball was probably more risky to go for because of the fact that he could have sent in Umbreon here if he predicted the Shadow Ball, since you know, Primarina is immune to Draco Meteor, so Draco Meteor would have also been risky. So both Shadow Ball and what's it called was risky. I should have just gone for Thunderbolt. It was the best middle ground play I could have made, but I didn't do it obviously because, you know, I'm not perfect. Here I'm going to switch into Skarmory kind of to sack it because I wanted to see what he would go for, because I'm actually under the impression that this Primarina is choiced, since I've yet to see it like switch up its moves after I do something. So I sack Skarmory obviously, and here I'm actually going to go back into Dragapult, and this is where I'm actually going to reveal the Thunderbolt, and I'm just going to hope it takes it well. But yeah. So here we're going to basically, like, I'm hoping he doesn't see the Thunderbolt coming, honestly. I haven't revealed it to him, so I was going to against the Crobat earlier, but for some reason it just felt like I shouldn't have. Actually, I went for it on the Primarina, no? Yeah, I was gonna show it earlier, like on the Primarina earlier, not Crobat. What the hell was I thinking? But yeah, either way, we do take out the Primarina right here, which is actually really good. But now we have to see what he's gonna bring. I kind of want to think that he's gonna bring the Raikou here, because Umbreon can take a lot of damage from a Specs Thunderbolt, honestly. So it has to be Raikou here. He goes in, oh no, he actually goes into Garchomp. Right, I forgot Garchomp was a thing. You see what I tell you when I say that I have a hard time remembering this match? He actually went into Garchomp, not Raikou. I'm stupid, obviously. Here, I decide to actually switch into Crocodile here, because that's the only thing I can switch in on an Earthquake, and then I just have to hope that his Garchomp is not Scarf, because if it's Scarf, then I might straight up lose this. Or, I might not lose, but I might put myself in a very, very tight situation, since I'll be forced to bring Dragapult again, take an Earthquake, then go for Draco Meteor, and then he brings in Umbreon or Crobat, which can definitely take the freaking Draco Meteors as you saw earlier. But yeah. So here, yeah, he's gonna go for Earthquake. It's gonna do over half, crazily enough. And that kind of gave me the impression that it was probably like Bandit or something. But either way, I'm just gonna go for the knockoff here. I was actually thinking if I could switch into anything else, but I was like, wait, I don't have Skarmory anymore, so I can't just switch it in anymore, so I have to go for the knockoff straight up right here. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now. And hopefully it's not Scarfed, obviously. And thankfully it is not Scarfed, obviously, so that's actually good. I take rough skin damage, but it doesn't matter because he's going to take me out no matter what. Turns out he had a White Herb and not a Band, so I was like, damn, Garchomp must be that powerful then. And I lose the Crocodile in the process. He actually didn't go for Earthquake though, he went for something shot. I didn't pay attention again because I'm dumb. But yeah. Now here, I think his speed went down or something. I don't remember. But or his defense. I don't remember what. There was a stat that went down though. It was either speed or defense, one of the two. But either way, I'm gonna go into a Azumarill, which outspeeds even with a -1 speed anyway. So I'm just gonna go for Liquidation because that's all I can do. I was thinking of going for Aqua Jet, but obviously that's not going to do anything. The reason why I was thinking for Aqua Jet was because I'm banded on this Azumarill, but Garchomp is also relatively bulky, and if I take an Earthquake plus 2 Rough Skins, I'll be super crippled on this Azumarill. If not, like, I might go completely down. So ultimately I just decided to go for the Liquidation, so I can take an Earthquake, and then just take 1 round of Rough Skin damage, as opposed to 2, which would happen if he survives the Aqua Jet and whatnot. So yeah. Now the Garchomp is gone, and this does give him the free switch into Raikou now. To which I'm actually gonna just go straight into Roserade. Even if he goes for Substitute, just because I want to see if after rocks I can maybe just like get some damage off. There's also the possibility of him getting the, like, Roserade getting the poison too, honestly, and I think I was trying to go for that as well. I also didn't send in Dragapult, risking the possible Shadow Ball prediction. Oh wait, never mind, I'm stupid. I actually ended up switching in Dragapult. I thought he went into Roserade for some reason. I don't know why. Again, poor recollection of this match. But I ended up going into Dragapult. It's because, you know, that's kind of how it is for me when I record these matches like this, obviously. Goes for the Volt Switch, which is, I guess, good for me. Good for him, obviously. I think this is. I think the reason why I sent in Dragapult over Roserade was because of the Volt Switch possibility. Could give himself momentum just to send in Crobat again. And I didn't want that for Roserade, because then Roserade would just get Brave Birded or U-turned again. And in the process, just be chipping me down to death, and that would be annoying, obviously. Which I didn't want to deal with. It's going to go into Umbreon now. And here I just go for U-turn because I don't want to deal with this. He might Baton Pass and he might just bring in Crobat if he sees that I bring in Roserade, but I think that was the only thing I could do, honestly. Like, seeing how well the Crobat took the Draco Meteor, I kind of felt like this Umbreon was just going to eat it up like it's nothing, honestly. So I didn't even want to bother dealing with this Umbreon with Dragapult. I'd rather something else deal with it. I actually was going to send out a Azumarill here, but I had to remind myself that this thing could get Baton Pass, so he could just Baton Pass into Raikou, and that would just put me in a bad position again. And I didn't want that, so I decided to go into Roserade. That's like the only thing I could send in at this point. Oh no, wait, I'm stupid. Why do I send in a Azumarill here? I don't know. This was a dumb play, though, because he got Baton Pass. I don't know, man. That's just how it is with me sometimes. I forget. And that's probably what I was thinking in the first place. Like, I thought that, like, I wasn't gonna have a problem with Umbreon, but I did. Now, obviously here, I think here I just make the same play of just sending in Dragapult again, because if I send out Roserade, that would just be pretty bad. But I did anyway, so that's a rip, man. I think he's gonna go for Volt Switch though, and he's just gonna send in Crobat, obviously. All this switching around though has gotten me to the point where I was just like, you know what? If he sends out that Crobat, I'm just gonna like stay in and sack it then. I think here I tried to go for Spikes actually in case he goes for the Roost or something, or the Defog. Yeah. I think it was here where I actually learned that this thing had heavy duty boost because he didn't take any rocks damage right here. I know I mentioned that earlier, but just reiterating right here that this thing probably had the heavy duty boost since he didn't take any rocks damage. Now, because I anticipated him to Defog, I decided to just sack Roserade here and go for Spikes. So when he takes me out with Brave Bird, I have Spikes at least, and then I can threaten it out with Dragapult. That was kind of the plan that I had going right here. But yeah, so much mixing on the switching is obviously. I was thinking that I would send in Roserade on one turn and then Dragapult the other. But I know, it was all vice versa apparently. I don't know. But yeah, so here, I think here I was just thinking whether or not I actually wanted to sack Roserade, because Roserade can kind of take out the Raikou and the Umbreon if it actually, if the Crobat's gone, but thing is that Crobat has been around for too long, and obviously I have not had a way to deal with it. And I feel like I can't just Thunderbolt it because the Raikou's there to resist it and possibly set up Calm Minds. But yeah, either way, he is going to go for the Defog. And as I mentioned already, I'm going to sack Roserade and go for Spikes. What I'm basically doing right here is hoping that he just takes me out with a Brave Bird and I can have at least a layer of Spikes up before going down. And then threaten it out with Dragapult, as I mentioned already. Although it is going to be a little tricky if the Raikou comes in and starts setting up though, because the only thing I can do is send out the Azumarill, predicting a Calm Mind, and then I have to go for Aqua Jet. Then send it out and go for... That's the hard part. Probably Shadow Ball, probably Draco Meteor, I don't know. That was actually a very, very tricky scenario. That's probably why I felt like I needed Roserade here, actually. But all this switching around kind of just got me tired, and I just figured, let's just stay in and just set up Spikes. That way the Raikou and the Umbreon like take chip damage when they come in. But as you can see, he's been like doing nothing but just straight up defogging. Like when he can just clearly take out my Roserade right here. But maybe he was just stubborn in the idea of me having my hazards up at the very least. But I don't know, man. I was sticking to my play here and just going for spikes. There is going to be a funny moment somewhere around here where I actually just decide to stand in the Dragapult, just thinking, okay, if he's going to go for that again, then so be it. And I think here is where he actually, crazily enough, goes for the Brave Bird, which this kind of had me on tilt because I was just like, bruh, this guy's on my head if he actually went for the Brave Bird here. He does, and I thought this was actually going to take me out, but thankfully it doesn't. So I was like, oh, thank goodness. I don't remember if I actually put any investment on this Dragapult, but I took it very well. Now this is the moment of truth right here. I went for Thunderbolt, but this is the moment of truth. If he switches into Raikou predicting the Thunderbolt, I think I lose this because the Raikou can just set up. I'll be forced to switch out into probably a Azumarill. If he doesn't go for Volt Switch, and if he goes for Volt Switch, I lose Azumarill, obviously. And then Roserade can come in, but Crobat will just come back in, and then it'll just be a huge mess, obviously. Which, yeah, and then I would lose, obviously. But here, as you can see, this guy is thinking for quite a bit. I don't know if he's calcing. I personally don't calc during these matches because of how long or how quickly these matches end because of the timer, obviously. This is one of the things I hate about the timers in Sword and Shield, is that we can't calc anymore. But I can only assume this guy is calcing because he's taking quite a bit longer than I expected, honestly. So, yeah, okay, so here we're just waiting for him, basically. And ultimately, he does decide to stay in, which is actually good for me, because I actually take out this Crobat, which is really, really good. And this makes my situation a lot more easier, although he could still win if he sets up with that Raikou, obviously. In fact, I feel like he's going to send it right here. And now that I remember it, I think it was here where I sent out the Roserade. Oh no, he didn't send out Raikou, he sent out the Umbreon. I think the plan here was actually for him to go for Foul Play to take out my Dragapult, since he can do that now. But I decided to just hard send in the Roserade right here. The plan here was just to get a Leech Seed off. And then from there, just go for Sludge Bomb. Get the poison to end this thing quicker. He's going to go for the Moonlight, so that's kind of annoying. And I have to be wary of the timer here because, as you can see, my timer, I only have like a minute and a half, while this guy has like 3 minutes still. So I don't want to I don't want my timer to go out, because otherwise I may have the lead, but I'll still lose, which is something I actually didn't know for week 1, which was kind of funny actually now that I think about it. But here I was aware of the timer here, like the timer differences. He has 3 minutes left, I still have a minute and a half, so I had to basically make all these moves very, very quickly here. Which was kind of difficult because obviously I'm not very good at that. I have to think before I make my moves. I don't like to just mash buttons. Mashing buttons is what I play Smash for, obviously. Not Pokemon. Pokemon's for thinking, you know? But yeah, anyway, so I missed a Leech Seed, obviously, and then I hit another one. He just keeps going for Foul Play, which isn't doing a lot to Roserade, thankfully, because of the fact that its attack is very, very low. It has no investment whatsoever. And I have the Ivy set to 0 as well, so that it doesn't capitalize from that as well. He's forced to switch out. Actually, I don't even see why he switched out, because this only makes his Raikou take Spikes damage, then a Sludge Bomb. Unless he already knew that he was going to lose at this point, because, yeah, this Sludge Bomb is going to do damage. I get lucky enough to get the poison, but even if I didn't get the poison and he went for Calm Mind, the Sludge Bomb was definitely going to take him out from right here, actually. And then what? He was just going to go back into Umbreon, which, yeah, I will no longer have the Leech Seed, but I could just set it up again, and then spam Sludge Bomb. And if he timer stalls me, I'm mashing my oh, you know what? Maybe he could have mashed like Moonlight or something. But just Moonlight now. And he can only Moonlight so many times because Moonlight only has 8 PP as opposed to 10, which is actually really good. Because that would actually make it so that he has 16 Moonlights, and God forbid. But yeah. So yeah, he's gonna lose Raikou, and now he's gonna send out his last mon, which is Umbreon. And it is imperative that I get the Leech Seed off here so that I can keep recovering and also cripple this thing quickly enough. And then the goal is to just spam Sludge Bomb until I get the poison, so that the poison in combination with Leech Seed helps me take out this Umbreon with the damage accumulated from Sludge Bomb as well. Yeah, because here I got the Black Sludge, then I got the Leech Seed, and this allows me to live one more Foul Play, because had it not been for that, I probably would have lost right here the Roserade. I still had, I think it was Dragapult, I don't remember. Oh no, I had the Azumarill. I had the Azumarill left. Well, I still have Dragapult as well, but Dragapult can't do shit. The plan was, like, if I lost Rose Raid here, the plan was just to go into Azumarill and just go for play rough, so. But as you can see, Rose Raid's actually going to be the one to be able to take out this Umbreon. So, crazily enough, Rose Raid for the second week in a row actually takes out both, ends up cleaning up the match, actually, which is kind of crazy. See what I told you? I told you in the draft review that Rose Raid just does things for me. And if I ever, like, you know, dismiss its potential in any match, it might actually cost me. So yeah, obviously, basically we're seeing this right here. Basically, Rose Raid is actually putting in work in the first 2 weeks of the PAC League, which is actually kind of cool. As you can see, we are going to defeat Playmaker, I believe 3-0. Yeah, we're going to win this 3-0, which is actually kind of crazy. Like, I did not think we would win 3-0. Given how intense the match was going, I thought this would go as close as a 2-0 or even a 1-0. But we were able to preserve the Dragapult, and we were able to actually win 3-0, which is actually kind of good. It's good for our differential. Just, jeez, I can't talk. It's good for a differential. That way we can actually, you know, like, if we, like, lose the next match or something, we can actually, not, lose too much. Or we'll still have some, decent differential after losing and whatnot. But yeah, so we actually won the first 2 weeks of the PAC League, which is actually kind of good. I didn't think I actually would, considering this is like considering I'm still just starting to go back into Wi-Fi matches for Pokemon Sword and Shield, and Sword and Shield is still a new environment for me, honestly. So it's kind of crazy that I even won any matches at all, but we did. But who knows? What if this is just like another ploy from the CBDL, and I end up like having to repeat history? Because remember in the CBDL how I won the first 2 matches of the season, and then the rest of the matches all consisted of me just straight up losing till the very end. Watch that be the case over here in this league as well. Or like I win these 2 matches and then say I like lose the next match or something. Wouldn't that be kind of crazy? Well, yeah, I don't know. But anyways, we won these 2 matches though, which is kind of cool. We take those anyway. Any win that we get, we take anyway. So yeah. But with all that said, thank you for watching this match, and I guess that's it. I guess I'm trying to see if there's anything else I gotta say. Oh yeah, next week we're gonna try to see if we can live record as opposed to doing this weird post commentary thing, because as you saw, it's kind of difficult for me to recall everything. Like, sure, you guys get good quality on the video because I'm actually recording from my Elgato as opposed to OBS, but my commentary is definitely not on point when it comes to post commentary nowadays, especially considering these are not replays, which, yeah, that's another thing that sucks about Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's just that we don't have any freaking, like, ways to save replays here because there's no such thing as replays in this game. They kind of made the post commentary a lot easier in those, back in those days, but what do you know? We are in the present now, and this is what we got. But anyways, yeah, so like I said, we're gonna try to live record next week. The quality will be pixely again, but I mean, obviously that's just OBS. Obviously, there's nothing really I can do about it. If anyone has any like idea how to deal with that, honestly, so that the quality is just about the same as when I record from my Elgato, do let me know, because that would actually be really, really nice. Obviously, it'll make live recording a lot more exhilarating, in my opinion. But with all that said, I'll catch you guys for week 4 whenever we get to it. For now, just take it easy and have yourselves a damn good one.